It's time for the Nebraska Women's Basketball Coaches Show.
Here's Markowski down low, drives underneath the basket, reverse layup, and it counts! And a foul. Markowski will shoot the and one as she gets fouled underneath. She was in the left short corner, drove underneath the basket, and Lex already with 8 points. Lombard high on the left side, knocked away by Prince. Prince gets a steal. Prince coming up the floor, 1-on-none. Prince layup is good, and it counts and a foul. I tell you what, coming from behind, Lombard decided to try and disrupt it. Prince was ahead of her. That was going to be a foul. Knocked around by Nisley in the hands of McCarthy, and now running. They don't have numbers. It's Jones going around Markowski. Knocks over Kellenhink. That's a charge. I'm going to say it again. If she isn't on the Big Ten All-Defensive team, you're not paying attention. She takes another charge. Moriarty, foul line extended right side in the red. Takes the curl down the left lane line, and it counts and a foul. Looking like Allison Widener, ripping it from the right wing, taking the curl at the left elbow, and putting on her big girl pants to score and get fouled.
Here's your host, Jessica Coody.
Hey everybody, welcome into our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. Jessica Coody here with the head coach, Amy Williams. We're going to have a special interview coming up at the end of this hour with Karen Jennings, one of the best to ever wear the Husker uniform. But going to talk some Husker women's hoops here with Amy over the next few segments or so. So 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to call in or text and be a part of the show. Well, Coach, how was the road trip? You stayed gone. How was it out there?
Yeah, it just felt like a really long time to be away from home, and it's not often that we get scheduled for the two Indiana teams back to back on the road, but we decided to just stay out and make that travel kind of a little easier with just one plane trip up and one plane trip back. But it felt like kind of a long trip.
Yeah, yeah. Well, starting off with the win at Purdue, which we had talked a lot about last week on the show, just that, that's a good team that is going to find a way to win their first game soon in conference play. It's a tough place to play. Your team goes out there, gets a big road win. How good was that one, and to get in the win column on the road?
Yeah, I feel just ecstatic about our ability to come away with a win. I think some people maybe just looked at records and thought, oh yeah, that one should be in the bag. But there's no game in the Big Ten that's ever just an easy win, and especially not on the road. And I thought Purdue came in really hungry. They played great. They had a good game plan. They executed that. They shot the ball well. They just did a lot of things well enough to win, but we made a few plays defensively down the stretch in that game that I thought really helped us secure a road win, and that's not easy to do. They bounced right back and got their win against Wisconsin right after us, and so I think we know that they're very capable of knocking off people in this league.
Britt Prince, we had talked about last week how good her defensive performance was against Ohio State. She got it going offensively at Purdue.
Yeah, it was just outstanding to watch because it didn't always come easy for her early. But I thought there in the second half, she found a way to get to her spots and to just make buckets. I thought our team did a great job of continuing to set good angled screens to give her an opportunity to take advantage of the way that they were trying to guard her off of ball screens. And she was able to really take that and get herself to some mid-range jumpers that she just really made count down the stretch for us.
What do you see it in your group when you have teams that, kind of like that Purdue game where they're keeping it close, fighting, but then your team's able to make some of those plays down the stretch to end up, pulling it out, and just the calmness, I guess, and some of those moments where, hey, it's maybe closer than we want, but we're going to find a way to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is the message we've just been sending that that every person's contributions are going to matter, and we never know when Birdie Rimdahl getting up and poking the ball free in the backcourt and then diving on it and getting them called for a foul in the backcourt. We regain possession, score on that. When a play like that is going to be the deciding or difference maker in a game. And so, just everybody being hungry to come in and make those types of contributions, just game-winning plays, both sides of the ball, and And we need that from every single person that gets the opportunity to play minutes for us. And so I think that's the message we keep sending. And I think our players are really buying into that and saying, how can I help with a game-winning play?
Great stuff. By the way, it was on my notes last week. I totally spaced it, but on last Monday or Tuesday when we were on the show, it was Birdie's birthday.
Yeah.
And so I meant to ask you and give her a birthday shout out. So sorry, Birdie, it's a week late, but man, what an addition she's been for you guys.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, just such a special young lady. I think just the sweetest and just finds a way to really connect with each one of her teammates here at Nebraska and has just really fit in, and not only just fit in, but found a way to elevate our culture as a team. But I think the way she's just gaining confidence in our system, the longer that she plays with us, and buying into like, okay, I really need to put pressure on the paint and create offense for myself and others, or I need to be ready to step up and knock down perimeter shots in this game, or, how can I help on the defensive side of the ball? And I think she's just continuing to gain confidence as this season has progressed, and it's really showing and paying off for our team.
We talked about Jess Petrie a couple weeks in a row, but how about Petra and just her growth? She just seems to be having more and more confidence, playing with more and more confidence every time she's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. And I think that's what happens, those freshmen, the longer that they, we start telling them about this time of year, you're not a freshman anymore. Like, we need you to contribute. And I think she's taking that to heart. She really works hard. She spends a lot of time coming in and watching extra film and getting extra skill workouts in, and, putting in the time. And then, she's seen some things really be effective, and she's been how she can spark our team with just point production or rebounds, or just, being another presence defensively. And so we want her to lean into that and to continue to produce for this team.
So, following up the win at Rutgers, you go to Indiana on Sunday. It was an early tip for you guys. Always a tough place to play. Got off to a pretty solid start, at least on the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we had some things go well early, but we didn't take care of what we needed to on the defensive side of the ball, and we let some of their shooters get some open looks in that first quarter. And once they start to see the ball go in the basket, it becomes a lot harder to defend them. And so too many looks from behind the arc. They outscored us from behind the three-point line substantially in that ball game, and it was probably the biggest difference in the game.
Is it, you guys probably have that feeling when it's your night shooting the ball, right? When a couple go in, you get a couple good looks, and then you're like, oh, here we go. It's kind of the same thing when it's going well offensively.
Yeah, I mean, we've had those nights. We've had some nights where we hit 23s, 16 threes in a game this year, and our team is capable of that. But we just have to be consistent, that when people try to take that away from our team, that we've got the anchors and the staples, inside, and we can be able to come at you in a lot of different ways. And I think, sometimes teams have really made an effort to try to take one or the other away from us, but we're best when we can have that balance.
On the broadcast with Indiana, they were on the Big Ten Network. They were talking about Callan Hake. They brought up her and her role, and just her ability to provide a spark play and draw the offensive foul. How have you seen that continue to progress for her, the role that she's in and what she's being able to provide for you guys this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think she provides spark plays for us because she's bought into consistently being, just leveling up her communication on the defensive side of the ball. That's been something that we've been asking for from this team. But the more you talk, the more aware you are, the more alert you are, the more you put yourself in positions to be able to make the right play and make those kind of spark energy plays for your team. And so I think it's really no secret that that's coming hand in hand with her commitment to being an outstanding communicator on the court. And then, but the thing I was the most proud of with Callan, just, she had 4 assists and no turnovers in that ball game. And I thought she just found ways to kind of try to put the ball in the right position to help us get on the board.
So you have talked a lot about how this team loves to learn. They love to dive into the film. So when you break down the last week at Purdue and Indiana, what were some of the big things that your team will learn from those two games?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the biggest things is just a sense of urgency that you have to have this time of year. It's February now, and we've got to have a sense of urgency on every possession. Sometimes we're guarding their initial actions well, and then we just give up a baseline drive for an easy bump off the glass reverse layup, at the end of shot clock. And our team talked about how deflating that can be. But shifting our mindset a little bit to, hey, if we make you work to try to, score a bucket in the last 5 seconds of the shot clock, that's not deflating for us. That's okay. Yep, we'll pat you on the butt and good job, but you're going to have to do that all night long. We're going to make you work and grind to get every basket that you get. And so I think just shifting our mindset a little bit with some of that, and our response when things don't go well, and just needing to have 5 people all on the same page with our ball screen coverages. And, those are some things that we really walk away from the week feeling like those things need to sharpen up as we head into February.
How do you balance too? Because we've talked about this. We talked about this with Coach Hoiberg too. It's a grind in the Big Ten, and not getting too hung up on performance where you weren't as happy with. You got to move on really quickly, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's such a delicate balance between trying to learn from the mistakes and utilizing every failure not as a failure, but as a learning lesson to become the best version of ourselves. And you want to be able to do that, but also not just kind of linger on the negative or the past, and be able to really flush and refocus. And what's our response going to be? How are we going to bounce back? And it's a new game. This season, I feel like, is so unique because we've always had 5 2-plays. So this time of year, you're usually seeing the team that you're about to play for the second time, and it's about making adjustments. But we're still this season seeing teams for the very first time, and obviously we'll have our 1-2 play coming up next week. But for the most part, everybody's just a new game, whole new scout, whole new mindset, whole new shift to game planning. And so that's kind of a unique challenge that comes with its own kind of set of adjustments.
Got a couple texts for you. John in Omaha. Coach, congratulations on a great season thus far. This may sound like an odd question, but the psychology in sports always fascinates me. I'm wondering what drives you more during the week, your drive to win or your fear of losing? Go Big Red. John in Omaha.
Yeah, that's such a great question. And as much as I would love to say my drive to win, I feel like, I just hate to lose. And I'm a competitor that hates to lose. And so, Lex and I were just talking today about how, I don't want to have that feeling again. So, whatever I have to do to not have that feeling after a loss, like in the pit of my gut, then that's what's driving me usually.
You got a few of those on your team. Britt is one of those too, you've said. Britt, Alexis, you got several of those.
They are fiery competitors. There's zero doubt about that. They definitely want to win.
And Art in Los Angeles, one of our staple texters for your show, wants to know, can you please ask the lovely coach about Allison and Natalie? How are they doing? And ask if they're playing the postseason. No shot of them playing in the postseason, but how are they progressing?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Anytime I can talk about those 2 young ladies, I'm thrilled to do it because I just couldn't be more proud of the way that they have continued to be outstanding teammates through some tough and difficult times and circumstances. They work hard. They are locked and focused on trying to every day get better and just, do their rehab with the same competitive fire and spirit that they've approached everything since I've known them. And but in the meantime, how can I continue to pour into my teammates, and how can I continue to, invest in this? And if you see any of the photos of those 2 on our bench who just, celebrating their teammates' successes and being the first ones to kind of be in their ear and encouraging them in timeout huddles, and I just couldn't be more proud of the way that they've responded.
Oh, awesome stuff. All right, let's get to our first break here on our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. The Nebraska Women's Basketball Coaches Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money have people. Appreciate those texts on our text line 402-413-2400. We're back with more with Amy Williams coming up on the other side of this.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We are recruiting Teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Nebraska soybeans power everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Skechers shoes to soy-based turf and fire suppressants. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for every product and everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens.
I'm Jason Pinky, a farmer near Craig, Nebraska. Soybeans are vital for feeding our livestock, and they're also a powerhouse protein source for people worldwide. Our world needs protein, and Nebraska soybeans are making a difference.
From tailgate grills to global plates, farmers deliver affordable, nutritious protein to build muscle and energy for everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Husker fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Welcome back to our Nebraska Women's Basketball Coaches Show with head coach Amy Williams. I'm Jessica Coody. Got another text for you on the text line. Andy in Phoenix said, "Good evening, Amy. What are your team's midseason goals to finish strong in the Big Ten? Is it just one game at a time, GBR?"
Well, I think that you must know me a little bit because I am very much about just one game at a time. And our whole entire team meeting today and film session was just what needs to happen today so we can beat Michigan on Thursday. And that's kind of where our mindset is focused. But we definitely want to try to take care of home court. And that starts on Thursday. And we know that we've got some tough challenges and tasks in front of us, but if we just take it one game at a time and really do what we can to protect home court, that we'll like where we end up.
Well, little did we know this time a week ago, the next day we'd be hit with some huge news that John Cook was retiring and Danny Busby-Kelly taking over as the head coach. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, your perspective of working with Coach Cook, and just were you surprised? And just his impact here at Nebraska.
Yes, I think sometimes people use that word bittersweet because very surprising news for me, because I had literally less than a week before this news hit, I had called Coach Cook. He generously, just like he always does for me, gave me, a half hour of his time so I could pick his brain about this, or this. And I was asking him, questions, and he's just going along and giving me all his thoughts and views. And at no point did I have any indication that he'd be stepping away shortly thereafter. But so I was a little surprised by the news, but just Danny, what an outstanding replacement. And she was an assistant coach when I first got hired back here as the head women's basketball coach 9 years ago, and just really excited to work alongside her again. Another Husker alum that understands the pride of having worn Huskers across the chest, and just very excited to be able to learn from her as well.
In this day and age, just the way that it was pretty seamless. How special is that Coach Cook announced he's retiring, they both get to talk to their own teams, and then then the announcement comes with Danny Busby-Kelly.
Well, that doesn't happen without just outstanding leadership and administration that can that respects, that knows the value for both of those two coaches to be able to have that interaction with their players. And I think, it takes just a special coordination and planning. And I think I couldn't be more impressed with the way that the University of Nebraska handled that transition. And just really grateful for all of the players involved on both sides, that they had the opportunities to be able to handle things that way and have that interaction with their coach.
Alexis had a chance to chat with her today, and she was saying that Coach Cook, because you guys run into each other, you're all over there at Devaney, he'd stop by where they were working out and say hi, and he just seemed to be this presence, and he really cared about the well-being of your players.
Yeah, well, I will say Coach Cook's interaction with my team was always when he was in working out and lifting, and he was in the weight room when they were in there, and that was not the same for me. So he does a way better job of being active and in there, and but I thought he just does he's always plugged in. He's so in the know, like he knows everything that's going on. He'd just buzz me text messages after, big games here or there, but just, when we'd get a commitment from a big recruit, or just, being able to say, hey man, I was visiting with Lex in the weight room the other day, and, I think she's, it seems like she's in a really good place. Like, he took the time to know what was going on with my athletes and our team and our program, and not just women's basketball, but really our entire athletic department. I think it shows the passion that he has for this place, and the impact that he's made, not just on Nebraska volleyball, but on the University of Nebraska's athletic department as a whole.
You had mentioned this when we chatted with Rhonda Revelle before they kick off their season. She's pointed this out that, it didn't dawn on me, but you have 4 women's head coaches now, all played here or competed here with Heather Brink, you, Coach Revelle, and now Danny Busboom Kelly. How special is that? What does that do when you understand it, I guess, in a different way than just being a great head coach?
Yeah, I think there's just something a little different. It's like Rhonda and I talk quite frequently about just when you've worn that Husker uniform and you've played in this program and you've put your own blood, sweat, and tears into it, it just hits a little different. It just, means a little bit more. And I think it's just really special because the pride that you felt yourself in being able to put Nebraska across your chest, and now giving that opportunity to other young women, and being able to be a part of trying to elevate our programs. It's an incredibly special honor for all of us to be back at our alma mater, being able to do that, and just grateful for the opportunity.
Well, Coach Revelle really bragged on Kennedy and, the job that she's been doing, and really impressed with how she's really transitioned to college softball coming off the injury. But think about Kennedy played all 3 sports, was year round, and didn't have a chance to focus. And so, but man, she said she is just really doing such a good job.
Well, I'm glad that she's coachable and that she's being kind of a sponge and just learning up. There's a lot of knowledge there. It's the one thing I'm the most excited about for her being a part of that softball program, is just to be able to learn from her outstanding teammates and that coaching staff. But so excited for them to get kicked off this week, and for Husker softball to get off to a great start.
Okay, so how does it feel to be a mom of a college athlete going into their season opening weekend?
Jess, I don't know, because I'm definitely not old enough to be a mom of a college athlete, right? So, or maybe I am. So, I'm excited for her. I'm excited for her team, and just it'll be fun.
We're celebrating. There's a lot going on here over the next couple weeks. Well, next week, National Girls and Women in Sports Days tomorrow. There's a lot of things happening around the basketball game on Thursday. But celebrating 50 years of a number of the women's sports programs here. And I know we talk about it, but just when you think about that and you sit back and reflect of how far women's sports have come, and just celebrating that, I guess, how do you reflect on that?
It just leaves me just almost speechless when you just kind of think back to just the growth in women's sports and the opportunities that are available to our young women compared to even when I played. But I was even so fortunate compared to, all the people that came before me. And so I just feel like it's just really special. It's so fun. I'm just so proud and blessed to be a part of it, and to be a part of it at a time like right now where people really are very excited. They understand and value what the women's sports have as like an entertainment value, and I think respect the talented young people that we've got in our program. And so to celebrate that, it's just pretty unique and special, and I just feel honored.
Here's a great question for you on the text line. Dennis wants to know, if you could coach another sports besides women's basketball for 2 days, what would that be?
Oh, man. Maybe golf.
Yeah?
Maybe golf. I think it would be golf because seems like a little slower pace and you're supposed to be quiet. So if I didn't quite know what to say, it would be okay. So
there's no officials for you to get after, right?
Yeah, that's the best part. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, we got to work in another break here on our Nebraska Women's Basketball Hour. Husker Extra is the best website and mobile app for everything Husker sports from the experts at the Omaha World Herald and Lincoln Journal-Star. Go to huskerextra.com to search your app store today. Got one final segment left with the head coach. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Experience Ford Truck Month at Woodhouse Ford. Whether you're hauling, towing, or conquering the road, Ford trucks are built Ford tough, made to handle the toughest jobs. Right now, get unbeatable deals on the legendary lineup of Ford trucks. View our inventory online or visit one of our 3 convenient locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth. Built Ford tough. Built for you. Woodhouse Ford.
Central Valley Ag is excited to introduce CVA Power Flock Layer Feed, the feed that works as hard as your hens. Boost your flock's performance with increased egg mass, a longer productive lifespan, and more sellable eggs. For a limited time, get a free feed scoop with your first purchase of 100 pounds of CVA Power Flock. Visit CVAcoop.com to learn more. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Want to boost Nebraska's economy and help the planet? It's as easy as filling up your tank. Switch to soy-based biodiesel to cut greenhouse gases by up to 74% and support biodiesel growth.
I'm Greg Anderson, a farmer near Newman Grove, Nebraska, and biodiesel has transformed our farm. It cuts emissions, raises the cetane number, and improves fuel lubricity.
So ask for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, economy, and Nebraska soybean farmers. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Dorothy Lynch Homestyle and Light and Lean Dressing, endless flavor abilities. Welcome back to our Nebraska Women's Basketball Coaches Show with head coach Amy Williams. Got one final segment left with head coach, and we've got a special interview here for you tonight. Again, as we're gearing up to celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day, got an interview with Karen Jennings, one of the best ever do it. Her numbers hanging up in the rafters, just her accolades. It would take us the whole show to go through it, but she was out at practice with you guys last week. Man, how great is it to have an alum like Karen Jennings still around the program?
We feel so blessed to have her so close and connecting and back for alumni events. But I thought the message that she gave to our team the other day when she was at practice was just so spot on for, the timing of where we're at and just, not getting fatigued to, blocking out the distractions and the things, just being able to lock in and stay focused down the stretch. And, it's pretty special. Like I'm very blessed to serve on the Wade Trophy Committee, selection committee now, but to think that we had a Wade Trophy winner here at the University of Nebraska. I mean, it's just the best player in college women's basketball. And I just think what an absolute honor. And every time I see her jersey hanging from those rafters, but also just see all of the accomplishments that she's continued to have, that it proves to me that, Nebraska is a place where you can really learn the lessons that you need to continue to be successful carrying on. And I think she's a true testament to that.
Not just a heck of a basketball player, but man, she's an co-side academic All-American of the Year twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also is an incredible student athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. How you do anything, how you do everything, just wanting to be the best of the best in all areas, not just on the basketball court, but if you're going to do something, you might as well do it to the best of your ability. And she has really bought into that. She was just very bright. She still is just, really inspiring for our current roster and just a lot of young women.
All right, got a big win coming up on Thursday night. And again, mentioned a lot of fun events surrounding it, but the core of it, you got a basketball game, a big matchup against Michigan. Tell us about Michigan and what kind of challenge they will present you guys.
Yeah, Michigan is a team that plays with just great pace, and they start the games with 5 guards on the court. Their starting quote-unquote 5-player was their backup point guard last year and is a 40-something% three-point shooter, and they're going to run her off of flare screens and pin-down screens and, pick-and-pop ball screens. And so they just play with outstanding pace. They like to really push in transition and get things running, and they have a lot of players that are capable from behind the arc. And so it's going to be, present some new challenges for our team, and we're going to have to be just ready to do what we do and play our game, but slow them down.
And we talked about this, protecting the home court. Not that they're not always there for you, but you need Husker Nation to get out there to provide the kind of atmosphere you guys had the last time you were out there in PBA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a great crowd we had for PAC PBA. We're hoping that we can kind of back that up. Celebrating, National Women and Girls in Sports Day. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be an outstanding game and 2 really, really good teams out there fighting. And so we hope that Husker Nation will show up like they always do and just be loud and proud and cheer us on to victory.
Well, thanks again for your time. Let's get out of here. You got another basketball game to get to.
Yes.
You're going to go watch youngest daughter play some
Go
ball.
watch the youngest. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Jess.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here with us again, Amy Williams, here on our Nebraska Women's Basketball Show. And step aside. On the other side of this, we'll have the interview with Karen Jennings. Keep it here.
Central Valley Ag is excited to introduce CVA Power Flock Layer Feed, the feed that works as hard as your hens. Boost your flock's performance with increased egg mass, a longer productive lifespan, and more sellable eggs. For a limited time, get a free feed scoop with your first purchase of 100 pounds of CVA Power Flock. Visit CVAcoop.com to learn more. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
No need to hunt around for friendly service, low prices, quality products, and great experiences. You'll find it all with the local experts at Sapp Brothers Petroleum. If you're tired of tracking down another late delivery, it's time to consider Sapp Brothers, where we pride ourselves on delivering products on time or even ahead of schedule, with your safety our top priority. Switching is easy. Just shoot us an email or give us a call. And right now, when you contact Sapp Brothers for any of your fuel, propane, or lubricant needs, you'll be entered to win a guided pheasant hunt next fall. Visit sappbros.net/petroleum.
Husker fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Husker fans, Nebraska baseball is back and better than ever. Fresh off their first Big Ten tournament championship and ranked 24th in the nation, the Huskers are ready to bring the heat this season at Hawks Field. Season tickets are on sale now and start at just $150 for general admission and $225 for reserve. Get your tickets today and don't miss any of the action at Haymarket Park. Visit Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED to secure your seat today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Hour here on Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. So we talked a lot about National Girls and Women in Sports Day coming up tomorrow and the growth of women's basketball. I recently had a chance to chat with Karen Jennings, the most decorated Husker women's basketball player of all time, both on the basketball court and in the classroom. She's an incredible businesswoman now, but she is a part of some of the things that we've got coming up here over the next couple of days. There's the Huskers brunch. She's going to be the keynote speaker. But so she was on campus recently, and I had a chance to chat with her to reflect on her time here as a Husker and how playing basketball at Nebraska has led into success outside of basketball. Here is that conversation with Karen Jennings. Take me back to your decision to come to Nebraska. Why the Huskers? Why did you want to come here from, Persia, Iowa?
Okay, well, when I was a junior in high school, I signed up for the Angela Beck basketball camp. And I came down as a camper and had a really good time. And at the very end of the camp, Coach Beck approaches me and said, "Hey, is your dad here, your mom here?" And I said, "Yeah, my dad's just standing up there." He goes, "Before you leave, I want to sit down with you, your dad and yourself, and talk with you." So we met up in the bleachers, and she offered me a scholarship to come to Nebraska.
Wow. So just, I guess, take me through your basketball journey, because you played 6-on-6 before you got here. How did you realize that this was maybe something you wanted to do in college? How did you get there to where you're getting that scholarship offer?
Yeah, my dad was a basketball coach for the guys for 10 years. He coached in Illinois and Nebraska. And when I was in 4th grade, about 10 years old, my mom said, "You're going to be a basketballer." And I said, "Okay." So she dropped me off at the YMCA and said, "I'll pick you up on the street when you're done. Be down here. I'll be here in an hour to pick you back up." And so I walked in, joined the team, and went out to my first basketball game and scored 14 points.
Wow.
And then that's where it started. And I just played YMCA basic basketball. Then when I was in junior high, I was on the basketball team. And we played 7 games in 7th grade, and we played 8 games in 8th grade. And then at the end of my 8th grade basketball season, Tri-Center is where I went to school. The coach, Coach White, said, "Hey, would you mind coming and just doing some practice with the high school team at the end of my 8th grade season?" And we didn't lose a game in 7th or 8th grade, so I guess they thought we had some promise. And so I played 4 years of high school with the 6-on-6 basketball. And I loved it. I averaged 59 points a game my senior year for Tri-Center.
Wow.
My junior year, I averaged 55 points a game. And I loved shooting the basketball. I loved practicing. Our coach every summer said, "Hey, can you get 100 hours of basketball practice in over the summer?" And I did 300.
Wow.
So I had the bug, and I kind of knew by the time I was a sophomore in high school that my dream was to play Division I college basketball.
How did you, because, you know, again, you talk about the growth, and right now it's a lot of people's dream, but I imagine it wasn't as probably big to know that that was a possibility. So how did you know and believe that that could be a dream of yours that you could attain?
I knew by the time I was a sophomore in high school, I was averaging about 30 points a game. And I started to get letters from colleges, and I played AAU basketball with a team out of Omaha. And actually, it was the same team that Mortice Ivy had played on. And so I would go to these AAU tournaments and do this tournament one time in the summer. And then all of a sudden, I just started getting, I got 200 offers from different schools to play basketball. And then before my senior year, I got an invitation to play at the Blue Star camp, which at that time was a lot of money for my family to send me. I think it was almost $300 to go to the Blue Star camp, and that was in Terre Haute, Indiana. But when I went, I won the one-on-one competition.
Wow.
So then that turned a lot of people's heads, and I made the top all-star team at the Blue Star camp. And then coming out of high school, Dick Vitale named me the number 5 player in the country. So in our recruiting class was top 5 in the country that year at Nebraska.
Wow, that's incredible. Did you have role models, basketball role models growing up?
Oh, yeah. Lynette Woodard.
Yeah.
She was at Kansas. And interestingly enough about Lynette is that she's the all-time leading scorer in the Big 8 conference, and I'm number 2.
Wow.
So that's kind of unique.
Were you trying to catch her?
Oh, gosh. I honestly, all of my scoring was just such a surprise. I really just wanted to play. I had no idea that I was going to be able to achieve the things I achieved at Nebraska. I really just hoped I didn't sit the bench.
Oh, that's great. So, you had all these offers and interests. And why did you land on Coach Beck? What was it about her messaging that you wanted to play for her?
Oh, gosh. Well, obviously coming to camp, she's goofy. She's so funny. And we had such a blast. And then just her culture, her assistant coach, Coach Becker, she'd write personal notes constantly. Steve High at the time was on staff there. They really just rolled out the red carpet when I came here. I think it also didn't hurt that Michael Jordan was in town on an exhibition the night of my recruiting visit.
Really?
And so somehow Coach Beck talked someone into letting me go into the locker room and get Michael Jordan's autograph. So I was pretty impressed with that. So that was an incredible visit. It just, when I came to Nebraska, Coach Beck said, hey, if you come to Nebraska, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to play 20 minutes a game. I will give you that opportunity to play. And I'm a player. I want to play. And my second choice was University of Iowa. And Vivian Stringer had said, well, you'll play some, but you're probably going to play behind Shonda Berry, who was an All-American, for a couple years before you'll have your opportunity to play. And I just said I felt comfortable at Nebraska, and it was also closer to home, very close to my family, very close to my dad and my mom both, and they came to every game, plus my grandparents would come to every game. So every home game, and then my parents and grandparents came to a lot of the away games because we played in the Big 8 Conference. Mm-hmm. They could drive to Iowa State. They could drive to Missouri. They could drive to Kansas State. They could drive to Kansas. They didn't necessarily go to Oklahoma and Colorado every year, but they made most of my games. If I would have gone to Iowa or Indiana or Michigan State, those are the places that were also interested in me, it was going to be too far for them to attend the games. So, and I guess I'm just kind of a homebody.
You were telling us an incredible story when you first got here. So much, we talk a lot about the training table and how that helps build camaraderie within the athletics department, and the legendary Bob Devaney started it, but you were part of the first women's team that actually got to partake in it. Tell us that story.
Yeah, so basically January 1st of 1990, Bob Devaney comes in the locker room after one of our practices and said, hey girls, I got some great news for you. You guys are going to be able to eat at the training table. We were just like cheered for joy because, dorm food's dorm food. It's okay. But the training table, we got to eat there for special occasions and knew how wonderful the food was and the atmosphere. And we were already going there anyway because of our study hall. So we just were above the moon. And most importantly, I thought that was the neatest thing is that summer when I played on the USA basketball teams, then I would talk to players that were from Tennessee, from University of Connecticut, they were from Texas, they were from Virginia, some of these, big names like I played with Dawn Staley, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo. None of those schools let their women eat on the training table. We were the first. And I think a lot of people do not realize what a big fan Nebraska is of their women's athletics.
Just an incredible conversation there with Karen Jennings, and that's just a small portion of it. You can listen to that full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel as well. I was really inspired after that conversation. What a great story there. And how about averaging 59 points a game as a senior in high school? That is just wow. And again, her name's all over the record book. She's still on top of, I think, 7 records, individual records. She's in the Hall of Fame. She's an academic All-American. Just on and on and on. Just the epitome of a student athlete. And I'm looking forward to hearing much more from her coming up here over the next couple of weeks, as she's going to be featured in a couple of the events here on campus. But I so appreciate her time with us, and check out that full conversation. It is really, really something. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. And here is what's on tap, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Well, we've talked about a big matchup coming up for Nebraska women's basketball Thursday night inside Pinnacle Bank Arena, taking on Michigan. 7 o'clock, and celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day events there. And then, hey, they've got back-to-back home games, another big one coming up on Monday night against Iowa, 7 o'clock, Huskers.com/tickets if you want to be a part of that action. Men's basketball, they've got a late night tip. Kent Pavelka better get his coffee going, because they got a 9:30 tip coming up tomorrow night at Washington as they continue that West Coast swing, and then they'll be back at home on Sunday, 1 o'clock, Super Bowl Sunday. They'll take it on Ohio State, so back at home inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. And how about Huskers softball kicking off their season coming up on Thursday night? Big matchup out of the gate for the Huskers. Number 6 Tennessee. And then also on Friday they'll have a couple of games, and we're actually going to carry the 6 o'clock game for you here on the network instead of Sports Nightly. So we'll hear Nate Rohr calling the action for us in the opening weekend for Husker softball, opening up the weekend with a lot of A lot of high praise, a top 25 team, so we'll look forward to that. All right, that's going to do it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 on the way. We've got Lauren Cook-West going to join us. I also talk some men's tennis, so still plenty to come. Keep it here. Hour 2 up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
No need to hunt around for friendly service, low prices, quality products, and great experiences. You'll find it all with the local experts at Sharpe Brothers Petroleum. If you're tired of tracking down another late delivery, it's time to consider Sharpe Brothers, where we pride ourselves on delivering products on time or even ahead of schedule, with your safety our top priority. Switching is easy. Just shoot us an email or give us a call. And right now, when you contact Sharpe Brothers for any of your fuel, propane, or lubricant needs, you'll be entered to win a guided pheasant hunt next fall. Visit sapbros.net/petroleum.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Nebraska guard Bryce Williams was named AP National Player of the Week today and was also a part of the USBWA National Players of the Week honor. The senior averaged 27.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 5 assists this week, helping Nebraska get huge wins over number 18 Illinois and at number 16 Oregon. Bryce Williams and the Huskers look to continue their bid to the NCAA tournament against Washington tomorrow night. Tip-off is set for 9:30 p.m. Central, and you can find that right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Jordy Ball, Olivia DiNardo, and Ava Kuzak were all recognized as Big Ten players to watch today. The number 19 Huskers will open their season this Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time against number 6 Tennessee at the NFCA Leadoff Classic in Clearwater, Florida. Tonight is the Battle of LA in the NBA as the Clippers host the Lakers. This is the Lakers' first game since the blockbuster acquisition of Luka Doncic. Although he is out tonight, he is considered day-to-day. 10 games in the NCAA Men Top 25 basketball, including number 11 Marquette trailing number 12 St. John's 40-36 in the second half, number 6 Florida trailing Vanderbilt 36-35 at half, number 25 Ole Miss versus number 14 Kentucky, top-ranked Auburn hosting Oklahoma, Indiana at number 21 Wisconsin, and UCLA hosting number 9 Michigan State. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Williams bends over with the basketball up top, drives it, picks it out in the corner. Gary's three. Got it! Bang! A ring for Jawan Berry. What a huge, humongous, gigantous three-point goal by Jawan Gary, and it's an 8-point Husker lead at 61-53. It's Williams against Tracy. Here comes the ball screen. Morgan for Williams. They hedge that. Double team comes. He leaves his feet, throws it off to Wooster. On the pressure release, Wooster goes to the elbow. Pull up, jump shot on the way. Got it! Bang! Bang, a ring! It's Wally Wooster with a huge shot. Maybe his biggest of his Cornhusker career.
Deep left side, Nisley. 1:41 to go. High lob. Underneath, back cut. Prince, and it counts! And a foul! What a dandy dime from Logan Nisley on the high left side. Prince made the back cut, got open, and she'll shoot one.
Now, here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. Jessica Coody here with you on this Tuesday evening. We getting set for National Girls and Women in Sports Day coming up tomorrow. Have some stuff planned for you. I'll keep you updated on that. I'll give you a sneak peek coming up a little bit later, but it's going to be a fun, exciting couple of days here on campus as there's a lot of events surrounding that. But then also on Thursday, 2 o'clock, we officially welcome in the welcoming party for Danny Busboom Kelly, her introductory press conference inside the Devaney Center. I know there's a lot of people that are coming to that. It's going to be some fun storylines. I cannot wait to meet with her and chat with her. Hopefully maybe tomorrow. I know it's been a whirlwind. She's been super busy, but we're hoping to get to chat with her and bring a conversation with her coming up potentially tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds if she has time to chat with us before she's introduced on Thursday. But I know it's going to be quite the welcoming party. And, it's someone was showing me today the introductory press conference for, Louisville. And again, it's a great program, as we've talked a lot about here on the program, that Danny's left that program better than when she founded it. And it is an ideal program to take over now. But, with each head coaching position that turns over. Really, honestly, very few sports are going to do it like what Nebraska is going to do on Thursday. So cannot wait for that. And we will have this, it will be streaming here on our YouTube channel and our Huskers social media platforms. So if you can't make it out on Thursday, we will have the coverage for you. But talking about her taking over also means that we got to talk about John Cook retiring, and who better to chat with about that than Lauren Cook West, who a lot of times during that press conference when Coach Cook was talking about making that decision to retire, he had mentioned Lauren and her family and being able to spend time with their family. So I actually had texted her, I think it was Thursday. I think it was right after the press conference, and she had said she is not able to stop crying. And I said, hey, when you get a few days that are able to process it, we'd love to have you on and get your perspective. So I was able to chat with her today and just dive into how it all unfolded for her and how she's processing everything with Coach Cook announcing his retirement. Here's that conversation.
I have been very emotional. Luckily, you texted me last week when all this happened, and you're like, I'm going to give you a week before we sit down and do an interview. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. And then I was thinking more about it. I'm like, thank you, Jessica, because I would not have been able to get through an interview last week. But I also have to say, I mean, obviously I'm a part of his family, so I've known that this was coming. And I don't know if you remember this, Jessica, but 2 years ago, we were at the Final Four. They were playing in the championship match against Texas. It was before the match started. We were doing all of our, pregame interviews and our pregame show, and we were talking. And I said, if he wins, which they obviously didn't, but I said, I remember specifically saying to you, and I think JB, if he wins, he's going to walk away and retire. And so, this is, I think what people need to realize is this has been in the back of his mind for a couple years now. It's not like this just came out of left field and he decided, I'm done. I mean, obviously he got to that point within this last week, but he's been thinking about this for a while, and they've been formulating, or in his head, Coach Cook has been formulating this transition plan of who's going to take over, how is this all going to work, how's it going to look. And so I know him and Danny have been talking for a few years, and he's been thinking about this for a few years. So I didn't know it was coming. It's still a surprise. And obviously volleyball's been our family's life for the past, my entire life. He's always coached volleyball. So that's all I've ever known. And changes are hard. And this is a big change.
No, I remember that conversation. I do. And that's why I think me too, I was maybe a little bit surprised, but not shocked, I guess, if that makes sense. When I texted you, you said, are you watching the press conference? I can't stop crying. You were brought up multiple times, your kids, your baby on the way, and Madden brought up, and he had talked about how much he wants to be there for him. How was that? What were your emotions like, kind of hearing and seeing him get emotional talking about you and your family?
I think that's what broke me. And I think that's also what broke Coach Cook. And you saw his emotions while talking about that. And I think what people need to understand is he's missed birthdays. He's missed some of my state championship volleyball matches. He's missed things for my brother Taylor. And any coaching family, the sacrifice, that they're, as a coach and as a family, who's with a coach, you going into it, the sacrifices that you have to make. My mom, she's made so many sacrifices over the years and supporting him and supporting Taylor and I. And so it's, that up front, but I think Coach Cook got to a point where now my daughter's 4, and then we have this baby coming along, and he's realized, I really did miss a lot of my kids' lives, and I don't want to miss my grandkids' lives, and life is short, and, you're not going to be around forever, and you can't replace these moments with family. And he's accomplished all he's wanted to accomplish with volleyball. And so I just think that was, and you heard it in his press conference, but that was a big driving factor of, I don't want to miss any more family time. And it's hard. For those of you who don't know, he's in Nebraska, and we're all kind of in the western half of the United States between Arizona and Wyoming and Idaho. And so it's hard being away from family and then coaching, and you're missing out on so much. And so I think he's in a way trying to make up for what, all that he missed in Taylor's life, in my life, and he's trying to make that up with Madden and then this new baby that's on the way.
Oh, great stuff. You know, you grew up with him as the coach. When did you realize, okay, my dad's pretty good volleyball coach. He's a pretty big deal.
Honestly, Jessica, probably not until like the last maybe 5 to 10 years. And I know that sounds crazy.
You were playing for him.
I know, but here's the thing. What he's done really in the last 10 years, I should say. So post-college, once I removed myself in a way from the playing in the volleyball world, I really learned how to appreciate all that he's accomplished and all the work that he puts in. And when you're a player and when you're going through it, you don't really see the behind the scenes. The coaching staff takes care of that, so you don't have to worry about it. You worry about your school and training and weightlifting and nutrition. And then when you remove yourself from that world, but you still have a back seat into the world, I was able to see how much work he puts in and all that he deals with and all the behind the scenes and then how successful he was, being able to appreciate it from a fan sitting in the stands in a way. Even though I was calling matches on the radio, I was just a fan. I was watching matches, and I really realized then, okay, he's one of the best in the country at this. The work, the commitment, everything that he puts into it. I mean, that's why he's one of the best. And it just made me appreciate him as a coach and realize, he really is like a Nick Saban or a Coach K of women's volleyball.
Oh, wow. He's handed the reins over to Danny Busboom-Kelly, and I go back to a conversation we had at the Final Four, and you were just so complimentary of the job that she had done at Louisville and how impressive she was as a leader. And so here she is, a former Husker, played for Coach Cook, coached here. I know everybody said a no-brainer, but I'd love to get your perspective on why she is the woman to take over and, for Coach Cook to hand the reins over to.
Like I said earlier, Danny and my dad, can I call him my dad now? Coach Cook? Like, what title do I use?
Dad's okay now, I guess.
Yeah, he's retired, so I can say dad. So Danny and Coach Cook have been talking for, like I said, a few years. This plan has obviously Troy had to have, or the AD, whoever that was. I mean, when they started talking, Troy was not the AD, but whoever the AD was at the time for Nebraska would have to have the final say. But my dad really felt confident in, Danny's the woman for the job, and I really want to help her get, when I do step away, I want her to, take over and grab the reins and run with this program. And so they've been talking for a few years now about this, and Danny's been ready and he's been ready, and when the time's right, they were going to try to make this happen. And so I just think he, in a way she's proven herself, but he's also helped her or helped communicate with her. Here's what you need to expect from Nebraska, and he's been giving her the ins and outs. And how many other coaches are doing that for, when you retire or when you leave for a different job? Let's take Matt Ulmer, for example. He left Oregon, he went to Kansas. This new coach that they hired for Oregon, is Matt Ulmer helping this new coach, learn about the Oregon program? Probably not. And so how many other programs have the opportunity of, when you're making a coaching change, that the old coach is really helping the new coach settle in, and they want that new coach to succeed and to just take the program where they left it and continue to do a great job. And I just don't think there's any other programs that are going through coaching change, whether it's retirement or someone gets fired or someone takes a new job. You don't see that. So I think she's the right person. Coach Cook feels strongly about that. She's obviously proven herself. And then we have this beautiful setup of, how this transition is going to work. And, Coach Cook helping Danny and Danny helping Coach Cook, and just, whatever she needs, he's there for her. But obviously not overstepping. This is her program now.
You and I have talked a lot about this, but just how he changed, throughout his career too, and just how he evolved to constantly stay getting better. And then you look at now just how emotional the players were, how emotional he was talking about his players, and just the relationships that he's been able to develop. I mean, just how would you describe his evolution as a coach and to where he was at arguably the top of his game when he retired?
Well, he wanted to be at the top, and maybe he didn't go out finishing, with a national championship. I think that was his ultimate goal, but look at all the other coaches who didn't go out. Nick Saban didn't go out on a national championship, but you have to, Jessica, you know this, the game is changing, and not just for volleyball, for basketball, for football, for, soccer, for just college athletics. The game is changing with NIL, revenue share, transfer portal. I mean, there's so many things that are different now than what it used to be back in the day. And so the game is changing. Coaches have to evolve. They have to change. And if you stay stuck in your ways, then you're not going to find success. And so I think Coach Cook realized that a while ago. I think he says it was back in 2009. Kind of the years when I played, he realized that he had to change, how he coached, how he handled his program, how he went about things, because the players are changing, the game's changing, the culture's changing, everything else is changing. And he realized, if I want to continue to find success and, coach at a really high level and have a program that is consistently, in the top 10, top 5 every year, then I'm going to have to change my ways. And it's been cool to witness. And I think, it's not just him changing his coaching philosophy and how he handles his relationships with the girls, but it's, getting on TikTok, because that relates to his players. It's becoming a cowboy, and how can he learn from, simple lessons from a horse, and how can that translate onto the court? I mean, he's so creative in his thinking, and I think that's what sets him apart from so many other coaches.
You going to help design his statue?
Is that public news?
Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's coming at some point.
There's a few things that are, first of all, Troy Dan, the AD, he has gone above and beyond. And I have to say this because we've seen a lot of ADs at Nebraska throughout the 25 years that Coach Cook has been with Nebraska volleyball. And there's only a few that he's spoken really highly of, and that's Bill Byrne, who he started with, who hired him. Obviously, Coach Osborne, who Coach Cook said he looks up to as a mentor to him. And then he's spoken really highly of Troy. And so we just, from a family standpoint, we appreciate all that Troy's done. And Troy has made my dad feel appreciated for all the work that he's put into not only the program, but the state of Nebraska over the last 25 years. So I know there's some really cool things coming. I don't know. I won't break the news on what all that is, but I think he's going to design it sometime this week. I think this week. So the ball's rolling, and I'll also say this. Originally, Coach Cook said, I don't want a statue. Don't do anything for me. I just want to ride off into the sunset. And I don't want all this recognition. And I think Troy was really insistent on, you deserve this. And, you've left a legacy here, so we want to honor you for that. So Troy, thank you if you listen to this. And there's some exciting things coming to honor Coach Cook.
Okay, just couple more for you. First of all, we're celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and you just look at the explosion of women's sports, but volleyball here over the last few years, and certainly your dad had a big part in that. Just what has it meant to you as an alum of this program, as someone that played the sport, just to see the growth and the role that your dad played in it?
Well, I think you have to credit that Memorial Stadium match, and it was really his idea, and he was dreaming big and really went for it. And after that Memorial Stadium match, you started seeing, Iowa women's basketball. I think they had an outdoor game. You started seeing high school teams playing on their football fields. I mean, it was almost like a good pandemic in a way, where it spread across the nation, and women's sports became more talked about. All of a sudden, volleyball is being picked up on, ABC, ESPN. I don't know. You probably have all the details for that, Jessica. But some big networks were starting to really pay attention to women's athletics, women's sports, and he not only raised the level for women's volleyball, but I think again it was just that that effect of it kind of went off into other sports, and I don't know. It's just, I don't know if you can really put into words what it means and the impact that he's had, but I think that's one of his greatest legacies is that he's leaving is, he really helped elevate women's sports, and not just for volleyball, but for, basketball, soccer, all these other women's sports as well.
Okay, last thing, and this is the number one question that we've gotten since the news. Kicking back with the Cooks is not going anywhere. We had a suggestion for looking back with the Cooks, but this is going to be a continued, you guys are going to keep coming back.
Hopefully. I know I'm contracted through June, so we at least have through June. But I'll tease this. Coach Cook and I have talked about this. We would love to start our own podcast. And, obviously with Nebraska, there's some things that we talk about in the podcast that get censored or get taken out. And we just kind of want to unleash and, have maybe throw in some cuss words, talk about things that, that aren't, that are restricted by the university. And, maybe that's in our near future, who knows? But we would love to have kind of an unfiltered, that's the best way to put it, unfiltered podcast between Coach Cook and I.
But you are planning a Kicking Back with the Cooks episode soon.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully. He's kind of been a busy man. It's like he retired, and I'm like, okay, you're going to be on the couch. I'll be able to call you. Like, we can hang out. This will be great. And he's been speaking and traveling and doing all the things. So he definitely does not seem retired to me, because he's almost busier than he was when he was running the Nebraska volleyball program. But yes, we will find time to record Kicking Back with the Cooks, and then hopefully do that through June.
Lauren Cook-West, thank you so much for giving us your perspective. Appreciate it, and we'll hear from you soon. But always great to chat with you, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Jessica.
This has been an episode of The Dig, powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power this podcast and all of Husker women's sports. Thanks for listening and watching. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. We had the end of our conversation there. Again, appreciate Lauren for chatting with us, and always love getting her perspective. And I know she's still going to be around and be able to hopefully be willing to chat with us. But just such a great volleyball mind, and I've learned so much from her, and she's just such a great person. So always enjoyed chatting with her. So appreciate her perspective. And so you heard it. We had so many questions there. Probably, as I said, the number one question, where's Kicking Back with the Cooks going? Well, for now, it's not going anywhere. So they are planning to record another episode very soon. So can't wait to hear that conversation as Lauren talks to Coach Cook about all things retirement. So we got to get to a break here on Sports Nightly. On the other side of this, we're going to talk some men's tennis. Big tennis match coming up this weekend here in Lincoln. So we're going to dive into that. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
Huskers fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Central Valley Ag is excited to introduce CVA Power Flock Layer Feed, the feed that works as hard as your hens. Boost your flock's performance with increased egg mass, a longer productive lifespan, and more sellable eggs. For a limited time, get a free feed scoop with your first purchase of 100 pounds of CVA Power Flock. Visit CVAcoop.com to learn more. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the fresh
Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
No need to hunt around for friendly service, low prices, quality products, and great experiences. You'll find it all with the local experts at Sharpe Brothers Petroleum. If you're tired of tracking down another late delivery, it's time to consider Sharpe Brothers, where we pride ourselves on delivering products on time or even ahead of schedule, with your safety our top priority. Switching is easy. Just shoot us an email or give us a call. And right now, when you contact Sharpe Brothers for any of your fuel, propane, or lubricant needs, you'll be entered to win a guided pheasant hunt next fall.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody. We've got a big tennis match coming up on Friday night right here in Lincoln as the Huskers taking on Baylor. And we've got a treat for you. A couple of guys, 2 team captains for the Huskers this year, joining us here on set. Anton Shep and Henry Bilasek, again, the senior captains. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, yeah.
Henry, you were scheduled, and then Anton decided to crash the interview, but that's all right, right?
Exactly, a little last-minute ad.
Well, big one I know coming up this Friday, but before we get into that, let's talk about the start of the season. I know you guys had a big win over the weekend. Just how's it going getting starting so far this spring?
It's going good. We had a big bounce-back win actually on the weekend on the road in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. So that's good to get the momentum sort of going for us early in the season. I think it's going to be important for us. I think it was a tough match, but we got through it. I think that we can take a lot of confidence from that going into this weekend. So yeah, good to get one of those early in the season.
Well, just coming into this season, you guys are both voted team captains. Henry, I'll start with you. Just what does that mean to you to be a leader and to be chosen to help lead this group this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing honor, and it's voted on by the team as well. So they really trust in us to kind of help lead and kind of the connection between the coaches and the players. So yeah, it's a great honor, and it's honestly amazing. Just to be able to kind of like bridge that gap between the coaches and the players. It's been great so far, and like I have 2 other captains, like Anton and Lars, who isn't here, and I think we work really well together, and we're all very close, so that helps as well. So it's been great, yeah.
What about for you? What has it meant to you?
I mean, he's sort of covered a lot of it, but honestly, I think both of us were transfers, so it's kind of a big honor for the boys to trust in us after sort of only a year being here. So obviously something that coming into college, it's something that you obviously sort of aspire to be for the team. I think it's a big honor to be, especially to be voted as team captain by your peers, I think is really cool. So obviously just very, very happy to be able to lead the team in a way that they like. So that's good.
Well, tell us about head coach Peter Coveld in his second season. What has he brought in the leadership role for Nebraska men's tennis?
Yeah, I mean, I can start. I think the biggest thing that Pete's really brought to the team is the team culture aspect. I think Anton and I, when we got here, like the team, we had a lot of different people from all over the place. And I think kind of looking back at it now, kind of where we were, I think the culture is in a completely different place. That's one of the things that we really rely on in close matches. Like, for example, Sunday, we're a very close team, 1 through 9 guys. And I feel like that's a big statement to what Pete's kind of built, especially throughout this fall. Kind of like the practices, like how it's organized, it's all team versus, a lot of other schools focus on individual work in the fall. All of our work is focused on team, kind of team practices and everything like that. So that's kind of what I feel like Pete's done a great job of, is bringing the team together and kind of developing a winning culture here. I think that's really showed, especially in a match like Sunday, where, it's a really close match against a team that was top 20 in the country last year. It's on the road. It's an outdoor match. There's a lot of excuses that can be built in, but we kind of came together as a team and closed out, against a really good team and a huge win. So I feel like that's kind of where it shows the team culture part of it.
How about Anton, just last year you guys started doing some really good things towards the end of the season and won a lot of matches. The expectations, how does that carry it over? And just now you guys know how to win and expect to win every time you step out on the court.
I mean, for sure. I think last year it took us a little bit of a while to get going, like we were saying, like creating that culture and that sort of a winning culture within the team. I think it took a little while with us all being from different places, a couple of transfers and everything. But I think that we really started to build a lot of momentum at the end of the year. And coming back this year, we've pretty much got the same team. We lost a couple of players, brought a couple new in, but relatively the same. And an older team, I think, which helps, especially with college sports. If you've got a bit more experience under your belt, like we've got a lot of people who have won a lot of matches in college, I think helps. So yeah, the expectations definitely change a little bit. I think that especially for a few of us, it's our last year, so we're trying to sort of go out on a high and do what we can for Nebraska, which I think is really cool. But I think trying to continue that momentum from the end of the year last year is important, and that's why I think a win like Sunday is kind of crucial to get early. I think that's what we struggled with last year. It took us a while to sort of get over the line on those tough ones, but I think, continuing that momentum is going to be key for us for this season.
Okay, let's get to know you guys a little bit individually. Henry, you can't tell sitting down on our stream, but you're 6'10". You were a basketball player, right? How did you end up in tennis, and how has your tennis career kind of developed?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a big basketball fan and player. I played my entire life up until I was about a junior, senior in high school. And, yeah, I really, honestly, we always joke around on the team, but I thought I was going to the NBA for a long time, honestly, just because of my height and everything. And I kind of got into tennis because my older brother was playing. And he was kind of similar to me. He got into tennis really late and wanted to play in college. So, yeah, that's kind of why I started. And I just kind of traveled with him to a tournament one time, and I was like, all right, like, this looks pretty cool. And then I watched some of his college matches, so I decided to switch. So, yeah, I had a really weird tennis journey, but I took a gap year after high school, and I went to a D3 school in Connecticut where I transferred from. And, yeah, it was just kind of a crazy situation. I ended up transferring here. And I got an extra year as well. So it's kind of crazy how it all works out looking back on it, kind of transferring from basketball to tennis so quickly. And I ended up here, which has been amazing. So it's a pretty unique story for sure.
What's it like when you're playing a 6'10" guy across the net?
I mean, it's intimidating for sure. If he gets up there and hits a big serve, it's like it's a different look than you normally get on the tennis court. But it's nice to have a 6'10" guy on your team, not against you. It's always good to have a big fella on your side. So.
Well, if you can't tell it, you're from New Zealand. Love the accent. How did you get here? Tell us your story.
I'm from New Zealand. I went to a school in Texas, University of Texas, Arlington for 2 years. And then transferred out of there for my junior year and made it here, which was obviously amazing. I'm very appreciative of all of that. But my tennis story is a little bit different to Henry. I've been playing tennis sort of my whole life. So, just didn't play a whole lot internationally in New Zealand. It's tough. We're kind of very far away from everything. We're just hanging out in the ocean by ourselves. So it's a little bit expensive and tough to travel out of there. But, yeah, coming to America and coming to college was definitely something that I always wanted to do and something that I thought would be very beneficial for that. So, yeah, very grateful for the opportunity that I've been given here at Nebraska.
Awesome. Well, it's safe to say if you guys were playing a pickup basketball game, Henry would be selected first.
For sure, yeah. You'd hope so.
Oh, great stuff. Well, let's talk about, this weekend coming up. You got Baylor coming into town, 7 o'clock. And it's a fun atmosphere, right? Tell fans if they've never been to a tennis match, what it's like, what they can expect, and why they should come.
Well, with our team specifically, we like to bring a lot of energy. I think people think of tennis as a gentleman's sport, but college kind of takes it a little bit out of that scope. And it's 6 players playing at the same time, so you can really, having a big crowd and having a home court advantage is huge for college tennis, and I think it's something that we could really create and we could really build. And I think we went to Baylor last year and they had a big crowd and it made a huge difference for them in their favor. So I think if we're able to do that this weekend and spin that in our favor would be absolutely amazing. I know the Nebraska fans love college sports, and it would be awesome to get some of that environment over at the tennis facility, which would be nice. So.
Just how big is this matchup, too? I mean, you talk about wanting to build some momentum for you guys moving into the Big Ten. Just Baylor's a good program, right? Just how important is this weekend for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big match. Like Anton said, it's a big opportunity, especially at home. So getting some fans out and kind of using the home court advantage to help us get a win would be massive. Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. We played them last year, and it's kind of a big turning point on our season last year. It kind of didn't go our way, and we kind of saw that side and was like, okay, we don't want this to happen again, work towards it, kind of a different result. And that's kind of why I felt like you saw the wins late in the season last year. So, yeah, this one's definitely been circled for sure since last year, and it's just a big opportunity against a great team. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it and excited and hope people come out to support.
Okay, so 7 o'clock, and it's free. It's free. Every single tennis match that you want to go check out and watch the Huskers play is free, open to the public out there at the Dillon Tennis Complex, and it's right over there by the soccer. You can find it, right? Tell people how to find it, because I think sometimes maybe they get lost and trying to get out there.
If you've ever been to a soccer match, it's the same place. It's just the other side of it. So, yes, we're playing indoors, so it's in the indoor facility. But, yeah, same exact entrance as the soccer field. So you should see the tennis courts the second you walk in there.
And it can get pretty loud in there in the indoor, right?
It can get very loud.
Yeah.
We promise to bring the energy if you guys rock up. So.
Well, what's going to be the key then against Baylor to try to get a win here in this big matchup?
I think being together as a team and really controlling our energy and trying to flip that. Baylor's a very loud team. They like to bring a lot of energy as well. But I think if we can use the home court to our advantage and our culture a little bit different to Baylor, so we can use that and really just lean on each other in the tough moments. I think that's what we learned a lot from the weekend, and when it got really gritty, we leaned hard on the team and on our team culture, and I think if we can do that successfully this weekend, we'll be doing pretty good. So
awesome. Great stuff. Thank you guys both for being here, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Again, one more time, Nebraska men's tennis hosting Baylor coming up in a big-time matchup, 7 o'clock inside the Dillon Tennis Complex out there, 6 o'clock, February 7th. So be on out there and support the Huskers. We got to step aside for a break. More from Sports Nightly coming up after this.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Huskers fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles, or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
For farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices.
I'm Ann Meese, a farmer near Elgin, Nebraska. I grew up on this land, and we're dedicated to being good stewards and leaving it better for the next generation.
Since 1980, U.S. soybean farmers have boosted production by 130%, all while lowering emissions and improving land and water use. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Just got a couple short segments left here with you on this Tuesday night edition of Sports Nightly. Duke had this in the ticker, but I did want to go back to it. Bryce Williams is named the AP National Player of the Week and was named one of 5 players to win the U.S. BWA National Player of the Week honor. So first time that Bryce had won the weekly AP honor and the third time that he had been recognized by the U.S. BWA this season. But his play over the last 2 games has been huge and a big part of why they've been able to get back in that win column. I think, Greg and I have talked a lot about this during the stretch, the tough stretch of the losses, and Nick and I as well. But needed him to be Bryce Williams for this team to win games, and maybe didn't play as well at times, and he's got to do that. I mean, maybe not 28, averaging 27, 28 a game, but he's got to be able to take over at times to be able to help this team win, especially some of those close games when they need buckets. I mean, he can just do so many things. He's just can score all over the court. And Coach Hoiberg told us last night, it started with the other things that he was doing, playing defense well, and some of that's led to the offense picking back up here over this last couple of games. They need another big one out of him at Washington. That would be a big one if you could get another one on the road, against a team like Washington, and then come back home and have won 3 in a row before you host Ohio State. They will be taking on Wilhelm Breidenbach, so the former Husker. I did look up his stats. He's played in 20 games, made 13 starts, averaging about 17 minutes a game, averaging about 5 points a game. So probably see Wilhelm and Braxton Meehl will face his former team as well. But a 9:30 tip, a late one out there on the West Coast. Kent Pavelka, Jake Muehlheisen will have the call for you here on the Huskers Radio Network. But we will not be on the air for the pregame until 8:30. So we'll have a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly tomorrow night before the game before the pregame even begins. So again, just wanted to mention that, and hopefully Bryce can continue his play and help the Huskers win 3 in a row before a big one gets Ohio State back at home on Sunday, on Super Bowl Sunday. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. We're back to wrap up the show next.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to IIAN.org/careers today.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Huskers fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on your Tuesday evening. This will be the last chance we probably have to talk about it. So, Duke, who you got in the Super Bowl?
It's a tough one. I think the Eagles are a lot better this year than they were 2 years ago, but it's hard to bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
You know, it's your common sense says to pick the Chiefs, but I think I'm going to go with the Eagles. I want to see Cam Durgans win a Super Bowl, so might not be the smart pick, but I'm gonna roll. I guess fly Eagles fly. I say that's the last chance we'll get to talk about it because tomorrow night we'll have a full 2 hours, but we're going to dedicate the 2 hours on National Girls and Women in Sports Day to featuring an all-women show coming up tomorrow night and have some great guests lined up for you. Alexis Markowski, Husker women's basketball star, going to stop by. The Nebraska kid had just been an incredible leader this year for Husker women's basketball. She's going to stop by and chat about the season, but also just, her growing up as a Nebraska kid and the role models that she looked up to and how she was inspired to play and be a Husker. And just representing as someone that grew up here in Nebraska. Rhonda Revelle also going to stop by, and she's got a cool perspective on Danny Busboom-Kelly. She actually recruited Danny to play softball here, so she's got a fun perspective on that. We're also going to preview the season as the Huskers open up with a big weekend this weekend in the NFCA Kickoff Classic, or NFCA, what's the name of it? Anyways, the NFCA Leadoff Classic, number 6 Tennessee on Thursday night. We'll carry that full game broadcast for you of Husker softball, by the way, on Friday night with Nate Rohr, and he'll have all the call all weekend, but we'll actually be here on the network. We'll be in place of Sports Nightly on Friday night, but then again, back to tomorrow night's show. Also going to have a couple other guests on, but hoping to get Danny Busboom-Kelly here. It's been busy, been a whirlwind. She's got a lot of things that she's trying to get done leading up to the welcome event on Thursday. So we're targeting to maybe have her come on. If not, we will have somebody from volleyball joining us. So a really, really fun show. I'm really, really excited about it to bring that for you here for 2 hours tomorrow night. Just a special day. Lots going on here. And I love how the University of Nebraska celebrates their women's sports. And so we're going to do our part here on Sports Nightly and feature some incredible women here on the show coming up tomorrow night. Thursday, we'll have a short show leading into women's basketball. So we'll probably do some highlights from DBK's opening presser. But so that's what we had for you here coming up in the next couple of days. But make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Should be a really, really fun show as we celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Thanks to Amy Williams, Lauren Cook-West, the tennis guys, and Duke for helping me run this show. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Nebraska soybeans power everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Skechers shoes to soy-based turf and fire suppressants. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for every product and everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Huskers fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court.